YouTube, what's happening? It is Monday, October 21st. So you know what that means? We got to talk about some NFL Monday. We have two games to talk about today. I don't know how much longer they're going to keep doing this two-game setup, but I think I like it. Having more than one option, so when the commercial comes up, I don't have to just look at my phone. I can go to the other game. Works for me every time. So we got Baltimore, Tampa Bay, LA, and Arizona. We're going to look at the betting information. We're going to look at who they played, the stats, the props, all the usual stuff. See if we can find any advantages that we want to place our money on. So let's go ahead and just jump into that first game right now. All right, starting off with Baltimore, Tampa Bay. You can see both teams are 4-2. Baltimore is a 3.5-point favorite. 49.5 is the total. We can see there's a lot of green on the offenses. Both teams are really good at offense. Both teams' pass defense is, I mean, let's just be honest, they're pretty bad. Baltimore is the worst in the league at 275 yards per game given up a game. 252 for Tampa Bay is 29th. Baltimore is really damn good at stopping the run, so that's going to negate Tampa's ability to run the ball most likely. 13th for Tampa. I don't think anybody can negate Derrick Henry from doing anything he wants to do because King Henry does what King Henry wants. So the main thing we're going to look at, we're going to be looking at Baker and Lamar just tossing that tater all over the field because why not? Look at the defense they're going to face. I would do that if I was a coach. Like, hey, they're not good. Let's abuse it. So that's what we're going to focus on. We're going to focus on passing props and receiving props. I just don't think rushing props are going to be the move today. I just don't think. Even King Henry might not have the best day because 13 is still pretty good on stats. So Tampa's decent. They're not like Baltimore good, but come on. So let's look and see what we can go. Let's go to the schedule. Let's see what these teams have done. We want to go to Baltimore first. Schedule. Who's played? What have you done? All right, so you can see they are 4-2. They lost their first two. Then they beat Dallas, Buffalo, Cincy, Washington. That Washington was pretty damn good. And then we go to Tampa. We see what they have done. They won to, lost to Denver, lost to Atlanta, but they beat Detroit, they beat Washington, which at the time we thought was easy, like, oh, Washington's garbage. No, Washington's actually pretty good. That's crazy. 1 year turnaround. And then Arizona, Atlanta, and then they beat the hell out of New Orleans. So yeah, Baker and the offense is clicking. They're putting up points like, all right, so now we're heading over to the props. So what we're going to do here, what we always do around here is we look at quarterbacks, then we look at running backs, then we look at receivers, then anytime touchdown scores, then we look at defense. Now, defense paid off great yesterday. I think only one of the defensive props I put out did not hit because it was just tackles and assisted tackles all day. Not even sacks. It was just tackles because a tackle prop, no one thinks about them, but the things were churning out paydays yesterday. So we'll look at everything and see if we can find anything we like. So we're going to start off with those QBs. Let's see. We got Lamar throwing. We got Baker throwing. And we see they both have terrible pass defenses going up against. So that's great. 228 for Lamar. He's gone over this 4 out of 6 times this year. The only two he didn't was against Dallas, which was the absolute blowout. So he didn't have to throw as much until Dallas stormed back. And then they blew out Buffalo too. So I mean, Tampa's pointing out this. I feel like this game's going to be a shootout. I feel like it's going to be back and forth. So the total's 49.5. I already like the over. If I can get, I might buy it to 49 because I will buy half a point. I don't care. So I like Lamar here. Let's look at Baker. I think I like Baker too. I'll play more than one prop if I need to. So I'll tell you the ones I like and the ones I don't like, and then we'll see what I want to actually play on my end. You can play whatever hell you want. I suggest you play what you want. Don't play what I play. Just play what you want. He's only gone 3 out of 6. So his number's 255. And he went up against Detroit, Denver, which we know Denver's defense is stout, and then Atlanta. Okay, that one I thought would be higher, and then had overtime everything. So he's either going to be boom or bust. He's either going to get 300 or he's going to be in the hundreds. So I feel like they're not going to be able to run much because Baltimore has the number 1 run D, but they have the worst pass D. So Baker has to be good. So we'll just leave these two here. I like both quarterbacks to hit their yards. Running backs is going to be a no for me, but I will show. Like, look at the numbers. We sort these out by line. Derrick Henry's at 86 yards against Tampa Bay's 13th ranked. So if you want to take this, you're going to be paying for it because, yeah, King Henry has been king. He's been beasting it this year. You can see what he's done. But again, Tampa's 13th. That's, I mean, to me, there's better props out there. But if you want to take this, I could see him getting it. Especially if game script comes into play, Baltimore gets them a nice little lead out there. And then all of a sudden, they just want to give the ball to Derrick Henry, let him run the ball, churn the clock. You know how it works, game script. I can see that happening easily. So he could easily, and then he's great at busting open this 150 play run off, 50-yard play all of a sudden. So I could see that if you like this isn't bad. I just think there's some better ones out there. So I'll leave it up there as an option. And then I'm not taking Bucky Irving. I like Bucky Irving. I like Rachaad White. I'm a Tampa fan. I live in Tampa. You know this, but I'm not. I don't let my fandom influence my betting at all. No, because that's how you lose money real quick. So let me show you Bucky Irving because people care. He's gone 4 out of 5, but Baltimore's #1 in run D. So hell no, can't do it. Hell no. Rachaad White, you just now started showing up in the middle of the season, and then you also are good at receiving, but -6 last time. I can't trust you, man. I can't trust that. So we'll leave those alone. So far for me, the 2 quarterbacks, way better. Derrick Henry, option 3. Let's pop over to the receivers, which I feel are going to have much better options as it is, because someone's got to catch all these yards that the QBs are throwing. So let's start with the highest line. It's going to be Godwin and Evans, and then it's going to be Zay, and we'll just do Zay. I don't want to do Bateman or Likely or Aguilar, or, ugh. Yeah, I'll just stick with these. So we'll stick with the main 3 big targets. I don't like going for the smaller ones because why? We'll just do your job. That's all we want you to do. Do your job. Pretty simple. So Godwin has been pretty godlike. 75.5, 83, 17. You can see, and he was close on his other 3. So, and Denver, come on. Defense is stout. Yeah. So that's definitely an option. And then we have Mike Evans, who does Mike Evans things. The only problem I don't like about Tampa is it's like Seattle. You have multiple great options you can throw to. So one could do great, the other couldn't. Like Philly yesterday. Devontae did absolutely nothing, but AJ did all the work. See, it's kind of, I like the teams that have that 1-star receiver. That's who they target. That's what the ones I love playing those. Kind of like in this one, Zay Flowers, because Zay Flowers is going to get the bulk of the work when they're actually throwing it like they should be. So for me, for props, I still prefer Baker and Lamar passing yards over the running backs. Over the wide receivers. And to be honest, I think I still prefer Derrick Henry over the wide receivers, just because, yeah. Now, if anyone's going to get the yards in this one, and if it is a shootout where it's like 35-28, something like that, yeah, I can see all 3 of these going over the numbers. 62.5 is nothing for Zay. He could do that. Look at that, 111, 132. Look at his targets. His targets have been high as hell, except for these 2 games. This was weird. But if he's normal, yeah, good stuff. So I would keep Zay. I would probably 4th and 5th option, Godwin and Evans, if you still want them, sure, but it's really more of a risk. It's clearly it's more of a risk. Look at the numbers right there, they show you. So let's go to touchdowns. Touchdowns are popular. We obviously love touchdowns, and for touchdowns, all we do is sort by last 5 because we want to see what they've done this year. Everyone's line's always the same. It's always half, unless you're some kind of beast, and even Henry's a half. So now he has gotten a touchdown every game for the last 5 games. He scored a touchdown 8 of the last 10 games. So if you want Derrick Henry touchdown, you get down to the goal line. Come on, it's Derrick Henry season. That's what it is. Outside of that, Godwin's got 1 in 3 out of 5 and 6 out of 10. And then from there, you got to go in the 2 out of 5s, which would be Bucky, Baker. Baker's ran a touchdown in 2 out of the last 5 games. That's one you don't see often. You want a big lotto ticket boom bust, Baker to run it in, plus 600 out there. Just waiting for you to take it. It's there. So Bateman, Lamar, Baker's running as much as Lamar. And so we didn't look at running for the quarterbacks. How could I forget? Let's go back to Lamar and let's pop over and look at his rushing yards real quick. His rushing yards have been going down. Look at that downward trajectory. We don't like that. He's gonna have a game where he pops, but I don't know if it's gonna be this one or not because he can just sit back in the pocket just all day because he don't have to run. Tampa has the 29th ranked pass defense. They should be able to. Lamar should be able to get some yards. He should have a run for his life. So this is not good. And it's 52.5. No, this is too close. And then obviously we gotta look at Baker because the dude can scoot. He can scoot a little bit now. Let me show you. He can scoot. Well, see, 14.5 is his number, and he will run if he has to. And Baltimore has the #1 rush defense, but that's mainly against running backs. I don't know what the number is against running backs, but Baker's not that dude. He's going to get you those 7 yards on 3rd and 5. He's just going to do it. He's going to get knocked out of bounds. He's going to jump up all angry at yell at somebody, and then all of a sudden the crowd's hype and it's wild. So, and then you got to think, there's the emotional aspect of this game because it is in Tampa. And as someone who lives in Tampa, there's been a lot of shit been going on in the past 2 weeks between the hurricanes and everything here. So this is going to be kind of an emotional situation here. So it was kind of the same way with the first NHL game. It was kind of emotional, so that's going to be a big deal for this situation. Because Baker's been one of the main people leading their efforts for donating and trying to get people riled up to like help the efforts and recover and stuff. So let's go to back to touchdowns. Yep. So you have those. Now let's go to defense. Defense paid out great yesterday. Let's keep going with the defense. Let's go with the. So this one, defense ain't really an option because we see the numbers. The defenses aren't exactly the best. So your tackles are only, like almost every game we had at 80%, at least 80%, and then a couple hundreds. This one, we even got no 80s out there. So defensive props aren't going to be the way to go for this one. This ain't going to be Humphrey, Smith, yeah, maybe, but they're literally only 3 out of 5, and then he's only 3 out of 10, 4 out of 10. Ugh, I have to pass him defensive props. And there's nothing here that looks good. Nothing at all. So it's up to you if you want to play. This is going to be an offensive game. So let's pop back over here. Let's go to the numbers. So we see it is 49.5. I am taking the over. Can I? I'm going to wait through the day to see if it drops for some miracle reason, drops to 49. If not, I will buy the half and take 49. And people are like, oh, you shouldn't buy half a point. Why? It's my money. I am spending 10 cents for the push possibility because there's some chance it could. Hey, 49, that's a nice key number right there. I like that. That's 7 touchdowns. So I will pay 10 cents for that. If it loses, it loses, whatever. But if it wins, oh no, I lost down 10 cents. I'll be okay. So I'm going to do that. We're going to take 49. And then also, I'm not taking a side, but if I did lean a side, I'd probably lean. I'd probably lean Tampa for the home field with the emotion advantage because emotional tends to work out a lot pretty good in sports. But I just think it's going to be a high scoring back and forth shooting game. So to the props, we're going to take the over. For the prop itself, we're going to take, I'm just going to rock with Lamar and Baker, both of them rush passing yards. Actually, I'm going to take Baker rushing yards. You know what? I gave a whole scenario on how he's going to run 3rd and 5 and get 7 yards and get up screaming and fans going to go crazy. Give me Baker to get 15 rushing yards. I'm going to take Lamar to get over 200 and what was it? 228. Yeah, I'll take Lamar over passing yards, Baker over rushing yards. And then, do we still take Derrick Henry? Because I don't like the wide receivers. I'm not going to take any of those. You could. I'll just take those 2 props. We'll take the 2 QBs. Yeah, we'll rock with those plus the over. That's 3 plays for 1 game. That's good. Let's go to that next game. All right, moving on to game 2. We got Chargers and Cardinals. So we can see the Chargers are 2.5-point favorites. 43.5 is your total. Let's look at the schedule and see what these 2 teams have been up to this season. So we know, just so we have an idea. We can see Chargers are 3-2. They beat Denver last time out. Pretty good. Hey, beat Denver, not defense. Good job. And we can see Arizona, what they have been doing. They are 2-4, and they lost their last game to Green Bay. And before that, they beat San Francisco. So, hey, good job there. So, let's pop back to the numbers. Let's see, 2.5, 43.5. The first thing that stands out is 30th in passing, 24th in passing. The complete opposite of the first game, obviously. This is going to be different. This is going to be more defense-based. But then we look at defense and realize Arizona sucks on defense. I mean, I'm sorry. They just suck. 30th, 23rd, 29th in scoring points, 28th in yards, last in third down, giving up third down percent. Like, come on. You're 7th in scoring third down. You're last is stopping third downs. So, yeah, that leans Chargers all day. 7th in running, 6th in stopping the run. That's a push 'em. A push 'em, a pick 'em, whatever. That's a push. That's a push 'em. There we go. 11th in pass defense, 24th in passing. Arizona, yeah, Kyler's not going to pass for much. Sorry. 30th versus 23rd. That's a slight advantage Arizona, but still terrible all around. 12th in running, 30th. There's your advantage offensively. It's the Chargers rushing versus the Arizona run defense, because it looks like statistics-wise that Chargers should have some success on the ground against Arizona. They should. And then the defense should just overall be able to shut down the Arizona. Like, they'll be able to run a little bit, but they're not going to pass worth a damn. So Chargers 2.5 is going to be the play. It's got to be the play if they focus on running, which means we're going to focus on probably J.K. Dobbins. We're going to focus on that. So let's pop over here to the props. Let's go. So we got to swap to the next game. And this, while I'm doing this, let me just go ahead and swap all of them over. So this is Outlier. You can get you a week for free. Just go to the link in the description. You can see all the information. You can pick all the games, all the stuff. It's awesome. I use it all of baseball season. I'm using it for NHL. I've been using it for football. It's great. So you get you a week for free. Try it out. If you don't like it, hey, whatever. But still, use the link in the description if you want to do it. So there, we swapped them all over. Here we go. So we're going to look at Kyler Murray. We're going to look at Herbert, who we know Herbert's not 100%. He's never 100%, it feels like. So dude's always hurt, but he like always plays. It's like crazy. So his passing yards is 212 going up against Chargers 11th ranked pass defense. That's a no for me, dog. I can't do that. Sorry. No, he just does. No, sorry. Herbert is 196 going up against the Cardinals 23rd ranked pass defense, but Herbert just, you can see, doesn't throw that much, and then yeah, I'm just not feeling it. That's just too much red, and he's barely over 196. Sorry, he might hit it. He could very well hit it. I'm just not feeling it. So to me, there's going to be better options out there. So we're going to pass on the QBs. Let's go ahead and look at rushing. Like I said, we're going to look at Dobbins. We're going to look at James Conner. We're going to look at Kyler Murray rushing. I'm not looking at Justin Herbert rushing. No. Maybe. We'll see. You always got to look. You never know. So yeah, 3 straight games he has 2 yards, 0, 0, and 2. Yeah, that's what I thought. That's a nothing. Murray, what is your rushing? 57, 59. Okay, well, you had 4 out of 5 are good, and then you have 2 what the hells. So 33.5. That might be a move because Chargers do, they have the 6th ranked rush defense, but it's not the same for quarterbacks, though. So this could be sneaky. He might have to run for his life. So if he's running for his life, you know, he's little, he moves around quick, he gets around him, he can get it. So maybe that might be a play. We'll leave it up there. Let's see. Stop. Let's see. Connor, let's look at you. You're going up against the Chargers 6th ranked rush defense. This, I mean, you're good, but you're probably gonna have a game closer to these 20s than you are the 80s. That's my opinion. I could be wrong, but the stats say so. So pass. We want Dobbins. There he is. 135, 131, 96. 2 games against Pittsburgh, who we know has a beast defense, and then KC, who has surprisingly a good run defense. So, yeah, I think, yeah, we're going to have to go with Dobbins. That's the prop. We're going to go with 79.5. I like that. How does he receive? He doesn't do it. So we're just going to focus on Dobbin rushing. So we're going to go for that. We already got the Chargers 2.5. I already told you that much. This one's going to be a lot easier, a lot quicker. So, all right, so let's look at the receivers now. We got Lab McConkey, we got McBride, we got Harrison. That's about all we're going to look at. I'm not going to go any further than those 3. So let's start with Lad. We can see his yards. I mean, he's been getting 52.5. Seems kind of high against, but Arizona does have the 23rd ranked pass defense according to statistics, so that could be a play. We look at McBride against the 11th ranked pass defense, and Kyler's throwing the ball. I just don't like any receivers in this game. Yeah, he had 96. Good job. This might be a play if you like it, but I don't. And then Marvin Harrison's going to keep giving you nothing because that's all they're. Why would you spend the 4th overall pick on somebody and not use them? Like, you used them, like, remember the game before this one was nothing. It was 0 because they just didn't use them. And then you have all of this just absolute, yeah, I understand the concussion and everything, sure. But before then, you were not using them like you should be. You should be giving this man 15, 20 targets a game. Look what the Giants are doing with Malik. They are just throwing him the ball as much as possible. That's what they should be doing here, but they're not. Yeah, I understand he was hurt, but still. No, he should be having 130 every game. Just simple. The Giants are doing it right, but they're rookie. They are not. I'm not surprised it's Arizona. So I would not. No, pass. Let's go to touchdowns. Let's look at those. Touchdowns in this game, in this economy. Oh, you got jokes. JK and Marvin. Marvin has a touchdown in 3 out of 5 games. Yeah. Yeah, that's all. That's it. And then Dobbins, the same. I don't play touchdowns. You can play touchdowns if you want. Touchdowns, I'd say it every video. Touchdowns are like home runs. They are now the fun thing people try to do because you put 3 in a parlay, also they boom, big boom or bust. Most of the time it's a bust. So I just I leave touchdowns alone. But you can play them. There's your numbers if you want to see them. And then let's go to defense. Oh, I assume we have some good defense here, but I guess not. Derwin, we got a lot of 60% when it comes to last 5, which is 3 out of 5 games. You can see tackles, assist. Nothing really stands out here. Ugh, okay. I'm going to keep it light on this game. I'm not liking anything here. So for me, I'm just going to take J.K. Dobbins. I'm going to go based on the stats that Arizona, as you see, let me show you again, has the 30th ranked rush defense. I think JK could exploit this if they use him properly, and he should be able to hit this no problem, but we'll see. And then also, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to be taking, oh, that's funny, because you can see when I go to the sheet, see, I pull my information from ESPN. That's where I get my information from for my sheet I pull. So when I make this comes directly from ESPN. So ESPN is giving you 2.5 right now. This is why you shop. This is why you have multiple books, because now you can see at FanDuel, it's 1.5 for the Chargers. And that's what I'm going to take. I'm going to take the Chargers 1.5. I'm going to take J.K. Dobbins over 79.5. And we're going to call it a day right there. So I appreciate you watching. I appreciate you liking and subscribing. If you haven't already, you should, obviously, because why not? You're here. You're watching the video. So let me know in the comments what you're playing. Get you check out Outlier and all that fun stuff. And we will see you Thursday for the Thursday game. Peace.